the CPC is fine in that regard. And I'm just going to come here and upload my vetted text terrorist document. And then based on this alone, it means that in my application, let's say I do this quickly. Let me just wait for the system to finish, and then I'm going to do that. So now, in my application, I have identified areas in Africa as one of my partners.
Okay.
I can go next. And then what I can then do is that, okay, I'm assuming this is a skills program, right? That was advertised. Let me see, which one is it? I think it's not these ones. Is it unemployed? Is it in this funding window? I'll see if I can find it. It's not one of these, right?
Yes.
Are you saying it is? But it's not. These are ones. These are skills programs from QCTO.
Okay, we can. I think we can choose any for now, and let's see, because
any for
we're
now.
doing a dummy.
100%. So I would say, okay, this is the thing, and I would say my provider for this program is areas in Africa. And the accreditation number for this specific program is whatever you would have given your partner.
Yes.
And they're saying, okay, they are applying for 25 grants.
Yes.
And then I would go next. Then the only thing that I would be required to do extra is upload accreditation documents for that cybersecurity program. So I'll go in and I'd find whatever you would have shared with them as your proof of accreditation. And I will come in here, I will basically attach it. And I will click on finish. Okay. So what that does, it means that if I close this quickly, I've got that program that I've applied for now with areas in Africa as my service provider. And I can continue. Okay. So in this instance, it means you wouldn't be doing the application. You would have found a partner that's going to be doing the application that would be using you as a preferred partner. So in other words, you'd be building relationships with these private sector security employers. And then they will use your details when they apply for grants for that specific program.
My only question now, the $1 million question, is to say, how then do we get to be paid, or how do we get to meet these partners? Because at this stage, I'm not sure what will be the key criteria for them or for any organization to qualify for application so that they can come and partner with us.
Yeah, in this window, their criteria is that they are operating within the jurisdiction of the CETA. They are either paying levies or submitting WSPs to the CETA. Or it could also be maybe one of those organizations that represent employees who work within a specific sector. So if you think of like your, what do we call them again? Your trade unions, for example, right? You could have a trade union. They represent workers who operate in different sectors, if you can think about it. But they know that within the security sector, they want to apply for grants for specific people. That's where we would go and receive their information. And they are allowed to come and apply for grants as well. Even though they don't operate within the sector, but they do represent some employees within the sector. So that's how they can get it. So your main criteria would be anyone who pays levies to SACETA or submits WSPs to SACETA. And they are looking to train their learners for some of these programs. That's where your mutual sort of like agreement with them can come from.
Okay.
So I think the best thing to do would be to know the employees who are affiliated with SACETA, I guess, who are looking for grants. I'm not sure if the CETA can give you that information. I would suggest you make a phone call to the CETA, and then they can maybe assist you with that. And the main team that you want to speak to would be mandatory grants, because they've got all the information for employers who pay their fees to SACETA and are eligible for this.
Okay. No, I think, no, thanks very much. I think you've covered it very well. Let me see which guys can we get that are within that are WSPs and paying CETAs. And then I think from there we should be able to find entities that we can think and work with.
You might even have entities in this room. So maybe it might be worth sourcing some information via chat if you wanted to. They can maybe just pop in their details. You never know.
Okay. No, that's perfect. That's perfect. But thanks very much. I'll drop my email address in case because I see I still haven't received the communique from you guys in terms of registration. So I'll just drop my email on the chat box. But at the same time, I'll call the mandatory grants division to assist with that.
Yeah. So I think it's David Kumalo who's speaking, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
And that's david@ericsonlms.com,
That's
if I'm not
correct. Yes.
mistaken. Okay. All right. If you can stay on for a couple of more minutes, I will have an answer for you regarding
No problem.
your email.
Thanks
No?
very much, my good sir.
Let me
All right,
just cover
wonderful.
the rest of the application, then I will sort you out.
No problem. Thank you very much, my good sir.
All right, sir.
All right, bye.
All right. Bye-bye. All right. I've covered work integrated learning, employed bursaries. I think our candidate attendees are also sorted in this regard. And then the one thing then that you will have to do is that if you are applying for grants, you must either have a training-related program or a work integrated learning program or a bursary program that you've applied for. Otherwise, your application is meaningless, right? So in any of the 3 steps I've covered, there must be at least one program that you've applied for. All right. And then you can click next. Step 5 of 6 speaks to the documents that will be required for your application. So these speak to the employer that's applying for grants. It's similar to the documents that would have been required if you were capturing a new organization. Okay, so this is all based on the org type. So you'll be required to basically provide the signed delegation of authority, regardless of the type of organization. So this is just the same document being asked of you again, okay, in this regard. And then every other document will be required. You just click on it and you upload each of them one by one up until you get the tick that shows that the attachment is there, okay? So in this instance, I had pre-uploaded mine in the interest of time. But the point is that step 5 of 6 is the uploading of the employer documents. This is the organization that you are representing in this regard. Okay. Any questions before I move from documents? Okay, I'll take it that we covered. Then the last step, which is step 6 of 6, just speaks to some basic declarations. So this just means it's some wording that you need to basically just read and just make sure that you're aligned with before you submit your application. Okay. And for each one, you need to confirm that you have read or declared that you do agree. All right. There'll be some wording that speaks to declaration statement. You can read that, check on I declare, and then you can update that. We've got 4 declarations. The other one is whether you are not prohibited, or your directors are not prohibited from doing business with the public sector. The third one speaks to the information that you provided being factual and correct in all material respects. And the last one will speak to whether you are duly authorized to make a DG application on behalf of this organization. This is basically a repeat of your delegation of authority as well as your linking yourself to an organization. It's just a declaration, check it, update, and that's it. And the last thing that you will do then is submit your application. Okay, and keep in mind that submitting your application, you need to submit that application before the funding window closes, which at this stage, unless otherwise communicated, is, if I'm not mistaken, 6 April. I stand to be corrected. I think my colleague will correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it is 6 April. What you can do as well, colleagues, is that you might go and do this application quickly within a matter of minutes, 15 minutes, and you realize that you forgot to apply for a specific program, or you forgot to attach some documents, or you've got something that could render your application not valid, right? So what you can do is you can, once you submit, your application goes down the pool. It goes into the second table here, which speaks to applications that have been submitted. All right. So what you can do with that application, you can click on this little chevron here, and you can click on change status. So all that this means is that it's changed my application from submitted back to created so that I can edit it. That's basically what it is. All right. Otherwise, if you don't do that, the only thing that you can do is basically get a view of what your application looks like. So that means you can see all the documents you've attached. You can see the training related programs that you've selected. You can see the work integrated learning that you've selected. You can see your bursaries, and that's about it. But if you look at this and be like, okay, I think maybe for our discussion for work integrated learning, I wanted to also apply for TVET placement, but I haven't done that. And the window is still open. The system does allow you to actually go back into that application, which is what I'm going to do now, and basically change it from submitted to created. Keep in mind that if you do this, the system will allow you to change the status back to created. You'll see it sits back in my created pool. But if I don't submit my application again, this application will not be reviewed by SASITA when they start looking at the evaluation. So just make sure that you do go through what you need to do and you submit before the window closes. Okay, so what I can do is I can click on that application. And let's say, for example, like I mentioned, I forgot to add maybe TVET placement as one of my work integrated learning. I will jump onto that and I will quickly add TVET placement for 18 months. Let's just go to, I'm just going to go with this. For number of grants is 25. Okay. And then all I will do is apply. All right, I've added my TVET program. Yes, now I'm happy. I'll still need to go through the next steps up until I get to the end before I can submit again. This just confirms that you are aware of everything that's on the application and that you agree with each element. Okay, I'll just go next. All right, documents, they are all attached. I'm happy. I'm just going to go next. My declarations have all been declared, all good, and I can resubmit my application. If I resubmit, it now goes back into submitted. And once it sits here, it means your application is good for when the window gets closed for evaluation and review. Okay. Are there any questions? Before I get back to that initial question by Bongani, are we covered? Okay. So once you hit submit, you will get an acknowledgement of receipt for that application, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll have to check what that looks like in your mailbox. Okay. Yes, Esther?
Okay. Thank you. After the application, do we have a save option or the printout of what we applied for?
That's a very good question. I think it was raised in the last discussion. No?
Yeah.
Yes. So that process is actually being worked on, which means we're going to have it available, I think, in the next 2 days. And how you can do that is that if you go to an application, only if it's been submitted. If I go into this view here, can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see your screen.
Yes. So if I come into this view here, the button will be enabled here is for you to print. Okay, it's only going to be available in the next 2.
Before I submit.
No. This is after you've submitted.
Okay. So
I'm assuming that you want to get a copy of what you've applied for. Am I wrong?
Yes. Yes. No, you are right. You are very much correct.
Okay. Correct. Yeah. So let me show I got that right. So it's once you've submitted it, you can come back into that application, click on view application. This page shows you everything you've applied for. Can you see that? And then in here, we just want to enable a print button that says print this for me into a PDF document. And then you can have that as a download.
We will only have the option of printing, not saving as well.
You can print. When you say save, what do we mean by save?
No,
let me just make sure I understand.
Okay.
No, let's make sure that we've covered you and the stakeholders, not just you. Let's make sure we speak the same language. So in my opinion, print means save to PDF.
Yeah, okay, that's what I'm saying. It's okay. It's
okay. Are you sure?
Yes, I understood. Yes,
okay.
I'm covered.
Maybe we won't call it print. Maybe we'll call it download. How about that?
No, it's
download.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank
that
you.
should be available from Wednesday, my colleagues. But it's only once you've submitted the application. Okay.
All right.
Okay. That would cover creating the application and everything else that we've discussed. Just to go back to one question before I close, I think it was Bongani who mentioned that they cannot link themselves to an application. I mean, they cannot see an organization that they represent when they're trying to apply, right? I think Bongani, it was you, if I'm not mistaken. Are you still with me? I believe it was Bongani Vilankudu. I might be wrong. Just correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, while we wait for that, Abongile.
Please rephrase. Hello. Hi, sir.
Hello.
Let's rephrase.
Okay, Bongani, we're going to come back to you just now. Just give me a second. Abongile.
Okay.
Hello, sir. Since you are going back a little bit, I wanted a clarity for that option for linking organization. Is that option for people who already who is it for law firms that are already existing in the SASITA system, or is it for everyone?
Okay, it's that option will only work for organizations that already pay levies or submit WSPs to SASITA. In other words, if the mandatory grants team at SASITA knows about you, the option will work. Because the only thing you will need is the SDL number that they use to identify the company.
Okay,
so it's for
so
existing organizations that already pay. If it's
okay, sir, for new law firms, which option should I take?
So you've got 2 options, right? You might be a new law firm completely, right? Or you might be a law firm that is transitioning from one SETA to another. So let me just confirm which one it is.
A new law firm completely.
Okay. So a new law firm completely means it's a new organization that's been set up either over a period of time or is completely new. It means you are probably not eligible to pay levies just yet, right? But there's a high chance that I would imagine that you are operating within the sector that SETA focuses on. So which means one of the criteria that the SETA would look at in your regard is whether you submit WSPs or not. All right. So I would suggest the first thing that you need to do is you need to get your organization registered with mandatory grants at SETA. Are you still with me, sir? Abongile?
Yes, I'm with you, sir. Yes, I'm with you.
Yes.
Yes, I'm listening.
I think for your scenario, I would suggest that you need to get hold or get in touch of mandatory grants at SETA. And then they can basically help you get set up with capturing a WSP and submitting it. Okay.
Okay, thank you
And
so
then
much.
based
Yes.
on that, even if you haven't submitted your WSP just yet, but by virtue of you being registered with SETA, it means you can use that SDL number to also simultaneously do discretionary grants applications. Because the WSP window, I think, is open up until the end of April. So there's still some time for that window. So I would suggest at least get registered with that department so that you will be able to see your organization and then you can link yourself to that organization. That we can definitely assist you with. But I think the first step is to make sure that your company details are registered with SETA for the purpose of WSPs. I'm not sure if you know how to go about that, sir.
No, I'm not sure, sir, about that.
No problem. So if you call the SETA call center number, you just call that number and you just ask to be transferred to mandatory grants. And then they will be able to assist you going forward with that.
Okay.
Okay. So I think the sooner you can do that, the better, sir, because obviously this window closes on the 6th. So I think they can help you pretty quickly. Then the sooner they can help you, then you are able to do your application simultaneously as well then. Okay. All right, so before I go to Wongani, Mr. Manoka, I'm not sure if you're still with me. Is Mr. Manoka still here?
Yes, Prangunan, I'm still here.
Yeah, man. I just want to confirm before I misdirect Abongile. He mentioned that they are a law firm now.
Yeah.
And to me, that basically speaks to them operating within the SETA's jurisdiction. And it's a new law firm. So I've advised that they get registered with mandatory grants. Just to confirm if that is the correct proposition before they can apply for grants. Or
Yeah,
if they
if
can, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, if they are new into the system and they've never submitted a WSP, the first step would be for them to meet with mandatory grants so that they can assist them in running the process concurrently with getting allocation with regards to the SETA that they report to from SARS. But if they come to our mandatory grants department, it should be relatively easy for them to kickstart their process. So that's the first important step they need to take to make sure that they get the ball rolling for their WSP submission first.
No, perfect. And because that WSP window is open up until 30 April, what I advise is that as long as they can get their company registered solo with mandatory grants, they will then be able to use the allocated SDL number, even if it's a temporary one, to do their DG application. Do you know what I mean?
That's correct.
So they don't have to go and complete the WSP before they submit the application for grants.
Yeah,
Is
because
that
they wouldn't
correct?
be able to submit the application without that.
100%. Okay,
Yeah.
that's noted. Thank you very much, sir. Barile?
So the SDL number doesn't go through.
I'm not sure if it's just me, but I didn't catch that.
Okay, so because you said that it's not me who's applying, right? It's the company that is applying.
Correct.
We're doing it with the company, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the SDL number does not want to go through. They have the SDL number, have every document that is all the requirements. That is what that I wanted, right? So the SDL number does not want to go through.
Okay, so the only criteria there, Ms. Barileng, so what that means is that the system is not able to identify that SDL number as one that exists within mandatory grants. Do you know if that company that you're speaking of pays levies to SASITA?
Yeah, they do.
Okay, then we should be able to resolve that quite quickly. So what I would suggest is maybe after this call, we stay behind and we can see how we can assist you.
Okay.
Okay, so you might find that they
Thank
were
you.
given a temporary number, but that number was never updated in the system or vice versa. Okay, and then we can get to the bottom of it very quickly
Okay.
for you to at least continue with your application. All right, if you don't mind just staying after this meeting, then I'll be able to assist you with that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, fantastic. Bongani, are you back?
Yes.
Okay, so if I remember correctly, you were asking around trying to apply, but you cannot see an organization when you try to capture an application, correct?
Yeah, here on the creating your application, on the part of applying on behalf of, it says select, but there are no option to select.
Okay, would you please just share your screen with me and show us what you're talking about? I think it might help other people with the same question as well.
Sorry?
Are you in a position to share your screen and show us?
Share on screen.
So you'll see right next on your Teams, right next to the leave button, there's a share screen button. Can you see it?
Yes.
Okay, click on that button. And just make sure you don't have any private documents open, ma'am, because I'm not sure which screen is going to show. Or you don't have anything open that you don't want us to see?
Yes, there's nothing to share.
Okay.
You have to share the screen that you're busy with the application. Unfortunately, there are actually different laptops.
Or you can share your whole screen.
The camera.
If it makes it easier, just share your entire screen.
Sorry, they are using two different laptops, so will open the camera so that you'll see on the other laptop. So we didn't use one.
No, it's fine. Yeah, that's not going to work. So what I would rather do is I'm going to show you something, and then you let me know if this is the case for you, okay?
Okay.
I think the camera option is not going to work. All right. So when I started the presentation, I said you create an account as an individual, correct? And then you'll have access to your account. When you log in, this is what you're going to see if you only wear the DG stakeholder hat. All right. You're going to see your menu, you're going to see your username, and you're going to see a discretionary grants menu.
Yes.
Right. And I said to you, to the colleagues, before you can do anything on DG, you must be approved or have approval to represent the organization for DG purposes. Right? And the reason we do this is that we say there can only be one DG stakeholder per organization at any given time. All right. So what this means is that you have not been identified as the primary DG stakeholder for that organization. Okay. So it means one of two things for you. What is the name of the organization, if I may ask?
It's Learning, Education and Development.
Okay. Does that organization pay levies to SASITA?
Does it do what?
Does it pay levies to SASITA or submit WSPs to SASITA?
Because we have
We're not sure if it's paying, but then we have SDL number.
You've got an SDL number.
Yes.
If you've got an SDL number, it means you pay levies. Does the number start with an L?
Yes.
Then you do pay levies. The question is, who do you pay levies to? Do you know?
No, we don't.
know.
So I'm going to make a wild guess. So I'm going to assume it's ETDP CETA, since you are an education and training provider, right?
Yes.
So there's a high chance that you are associated with ETDP CETA then.
Yes,
Yes, we are associated.
Okay, so what this means is that when ETDP CETA has got a similar funding window happening, that's where you can apply for this purpose. But as a SETA, if you are a training provider, it means you are accredited with somebody to do a training for certain programs, right? And in your capacity right now, you are looking for learners that you can train. I'm assuming that's the main reason you want to come here into this window.
Yes.
Am I correct with that assumption?
Thanks.
So in other words, if I can put it in layman terms, you are not going to be training your employees. You've got sub-learners. You are looking for SETA to give you leads on learners that you can train, and you are providing your services as a training provider. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay, then in that instance, this funding window is not necessarily for you. Okay, the only way you're going to get funding in this funding window is if you pair with
Sorry,
an employee.
pardon,
Yes, ma'am.
pardon.
I'm here.
You are breaking due to network.
Okay, should I go again? So I'm saying you are offering your services as a training provider in this funding window, which means you can't directly apply for funds. So there's two types of yes, there's a private sector funding window, which focuses on organizations that pay levies to SETA or submit WSPs. You don't do either of those, right? You are affiliated or associated with a different SETA, which means your main head in this funding window is that you want to be able to train learners. And I'm assuming you obviously have your own training fee for this, and that's how you make your money, right? The point is, you can't apply for grants
You are
directly in
breaking,
this funding window.
you are breaking,
Am I breaking for everybody or just you?
you are
ma'am?
breaking.
Can everyone else hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. You're breaking only on their side because I'm barely hearing them on my side as well. So it's
Yeah, no,
kind of-
Bongani, I think to summarize, this funding window is not for you to apply directly.
Okay.
Okay, so what you can do though is you can partner up with any employer who operates within the sector and partner up as a training provider, and they can use your details as the dedicated training provider or the designated training provider for the application. That can definitely be done. So it's similar to what I think it was Mr. Kubalo who had mentioned earlier regarding the same thing. When they were speaking about cybersecurity, you got exactly the same scenario in this case. All right.
Okay.
So yeah, you won't be able to apply for grants directly, but even if you do, I doubt it's going to be to succeed because of that alone. Okay.
Okay.
All right. That brings me to the end of that demonstration. I know I do owe Mr. Kumalo, I think, some attention. And we also mentioned, I think it was one lady who said they want to stay after the call. Besides that, are there any other questions before I hand over to Mr. Maluka to close the session? Okay, Mr. Kumalo, and I think it was Mr. Kumalo, I stand to be corrected. And I think the other one, I can't remember the name. If you could just stay behind after we end the session, then we will be able to assist you quickly. Okay. Mr. Maluka, over to you.
Thank you, sir. All right.
All right.
All right.
Mr.
Thank you,
Maluka.
Mr. Nkuneng. Yes, I can hear you. Thank you. Stakeholders and colleagues, I'd like to think our session was very fruitful. Thank you for your attendance. We hope that the session was informative and will assist you guys to be able to submit through your applications before the 6th of April, colleagues. Without wasting any more of your time, colleagues, thank you for attending the session on behalf of the executive management. This meeting is officially closed, colleagues. Thank you very much, Brankune. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Ogushe, I think you can also stay behind with that hand. I should have 3 reps that stay behind that we can assist quickly.
Hi.
Yeah, Nkuneng and Estane, if she's still there.
Yes, she says
Yes,
she's not staying
I'm
behind.
still here. I won't go anywhere.
No problem. Ogushe, if you can just
Yes.
wait for us, just wait a
Yes,
bit.
I had a question, and you
Just
said I
hold
must
on
wait
that
for Mr.
question.
Maloa.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, sir. You want to speak to Mr. Manoka? Sorry, I might have missed that.
Yes, I had a question.
Oh,
For
yes,
the
yes, you did. Apologies. Mr. Manoka, are you still here?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm still there.
Sorry, man. I think there was a question around the mentors. for the will programs. That was there
Okay.
earlier that I think you can basically answer much clearer than I can. Go for it, Oguhle.
Yes, yes, I wanted to ask if for the internships and for the work integrated, do the principals or mentors have to be qualified in that related field?
Okay, super question. The principals one, I'd like to think we're talking candidate attorneys. Mentors would be for the other interventions outside the candidate attorney. But obviously, for candidate attorneys, the principal would be an attorney, I'd like to think, that is already a registered attorney who's going to be presiding over those three learners who are serving the articles. So yes, for candidate attorneys. And on internships, TVET placement, and University of Technology placement, if it's there, the mentors essentially are the people that are the head of those departments. For example, if you essentially place someone under the finance department because they have a finance-related qualification, I'd like to think that mentor who's coming from finance has some sort of qualification that will allow them to actually mentor over the learner. So from an overall perspective, yes, I would like to think the mentor should be qualified at least to the relevance of the qualification of the learner, at least to where they are placing them. For example, even security-related programs, you cannot have someone that's not a security guard mentoring people that are on site. It should be someone who has a qualification background of security, be it a facilitator of any sort that has already gone through the training. Essentially, it's training the trainer. So yes, the people that are mentoring or being a principal to the learners should have a qualification in line with where the learner is being placed based on their qualification. I hope that answers your question, sir.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you. Pramkuding, that's all from my side. Is there anything else? And Kuneng? Colleagues, can anyone hear me? Can someone or anyone hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, sir.
All right. And Kuneng, I think you're on mute, maybe. All right, colleagues, if there are no more questions for those that are remaining behind, I think Mr. Mtlala would like to assist those colleagues maybe to wrap up some of the questions that they had. But officially, colleagues, the session is closed. I would like for us to officially close it so that the recording can be stopped so that we are able to cut and paste it onto the CETA website. Thank you, colleagues. For those that are not going to be staying, let us please log out of the meeting and we proceed with the other portions of the day. Thank you again, colleagues, for attending.
Afternoon, colleagues.
Afternoon. I'm not sure if you're going to do it the one by one or something.
Yeah, I'm just not sure if I missed.
But I
Yeah,
wanted to
I
ask
just
about-
stepped out for 2 minutes. Just sorry about that. I'm just not sure if we're waiting for me or if there's anything else. Is this now our after session sort of like walkthrough quickly? I think we're 3 people with 3 different questions that I'd like to address. Okay, I think Marilyn, I think you were talking about the law firm, right? And you being the candidate attorney and you applying via your employer, and you mentioned something